When we think about World War II soldiers, we often imagine helmets, rifles, and rations. But what history books don't always tell us is that survival on the battlefield depended on far more than standard-issue gear. Soldiers carried small, sometimes secret items, things rarely mentioned in official manuals, that made the difference between life and death. On today's episode of Strange History, we're looking at 7 survival items World War II soldiers never spoke about. The first item is razor blades, but not just for shaving. Yes, soldiers used them to keep their faces clean, but blades had hidden survival uses. They could cut cloth for bandages, sharpen pencils for map work, and even slice into tough packaging. In desperate situations, blades were used to cut fishing line or fashion traps. Their small size and versatility made them a prized possession, often tucked away in uniform pockets for emergencies. The second item is condoms, carried for reasons that might surprise you. While they were issued partly for obvious medical concerns, soldiers also used them as waterproofing tools. A single condom could protect the barrel of a rifle from mud and rain, or keep matches and documents dry in a pocket. Some soldiers even stretched them over canteens to carry extra water. In survival mode, ingenuity turned a simple item into life-saving gear. The third item is pocket sewing kits, often called housewife kits. Officially, they were meant for stitching uniforms, but soldiers discovered their value went much further. A needle and strong thread could repair torn boots, patch gear, or even suture wounds in dire emergencies. In prisoner of war camps, sewing kits became tools for escape, used to alter civilian clothing or create disguises. Something as humble as a needle and thread could mean survival, freedom, or even escape. The fourth survival item is chocolate and hard candy. Rations were notoriously bland, and soldiers longed for a taste of sweetness. But candy wasn't just comfort food, it was quick energy. In the middle of combat or long marches, a piece of chocolate provided a sugar rush that helped a soldier push forward. Sometimes candy was also used as a bargaining chip with civilians, or even as a peace offering with children in occupied areas. Soldiers rarely wrote home about this secret stash, but many admitted later that it kept their spirits alive. The fifth item is tobacco and cigarettes, though their role went beyond smoking. Yes, cigarettes were a stress reliever, but they also became currency. In POW camps, cigarettes were traded for food, medicine, or favors. Outside the camps, tobacco helped soldiers build bonds with allies or smooth tense encounters with locals. Cigarettes were lightweight, portable, and universally desired, making them one of the most powerful survival tools of the war. The sixth item is morphine syrettes, tiny, single-use injectors that soldiers often kept tucked away. Morphine was officially part of the medic's kit, but many soldiers secretly carried 1 or 2 for emergencies. If a man was severely wounded and no medic was nearby, a syrette could provide crucial pain relief until help arrived. The use of morphine was rarely discussed openly. Soldiers feared punishment for hoarding supplies. But in countless cases, these little tubes saved lives or at least eased suffering on the battlefield. The seventh and final survival item is photographs and personal keepsakes. This might not sound practical, but make no mistake. These small tokens were survival tools of the spirit. A picture of a sweetheart, a child, or a hometown reminded soldiers why they were fighting and gave them strength in the darkest hours. In POW camps, personal mementos gave men hope and a reason to keep living. Soldiers didn't always admit how much these items mattered, but historians agree that morale was as vital to survival as food or ammunition. When we look at these 7 forgotten items, razor blades, condoms, sewing kits, candy, cigarettes, morphine, syrettes, and personal keepsakes, we realize survival in World War II wasn't just about weapons or tactics. It was about adaptability, creativity, and sometimes even secrecy. Soldiers didn't always talk about these things in letters or diaries, but they carried them, relied on them, and often owed their lives to them. History often focuses on battles and leaders, but the truth of survival lies in the pockets of ordinary soldiers. These hidden items remind us that war is not only fought with guns and bombs, it's endured with small everyday objects that kept men alive through some of the hardest conditions imaginable. This has been Strange History. If you enjoyed uncovering the secret survival gear of World War II soldiers, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And remember, sometimes the smallest items carry the biggest stories.